I call to order the City of Gilroy Parks and Recreation Commission on April 15th at 6 p.m. Roll call, please.
Okay, Chair Ramirez.
Here.
Vice Chair Martinez.
Here.
Commissioner Bozo.
Here.
Commissioner Jimenez.
Here.
Commissioner Miller.
Here.
Commissioner Graham is absent. And Commissioner Lawrence.
Here. Okay, it's time for a flag salute. Emily, would you lead us, please? Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Thank you.
Secretary's report.
The meeting packet was published on Friday, April.
April what? I didn't hear that.
Oh, 4th.
April 4th. Gotcha. Okay, thank you. Item 5 on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from March 18. Everybody had a chance to look at that? Anybody need to be okay with that? Movement to accept the minutes?
one note, in the work plan that I don't know, I said I wanted a specific item for establishing a pickleball court in Gilroy, which did make it on the work plan, but I know.
No, it's just for the next, the work plan for that's being placed.
Yeah.
So let's see it. So planning, engaging the community, maintain existing park facilities. Okay, if you look at the bullet point number 3 in the middle of the page, establish permanent pickleball facilities in accordance with last year's commission study of.
Are you on 10.1?
I'm looking at the minutes. Page 3, 10.1. The next page. In the middle, bullet point 3.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha. What is this? An opportunity to share. What's old business 10.1 on page 2?
It's the review of the work plan. From the time.
Gotcha. Okay.
We have movement to pass the minutes as drafted.
Movement to pass.
I second the second it. All in favor?
I
Opposed? Passes. We approve the minutes for March 18th. Item 6, approval of the agenda for tonight on April 15th. Make the motion, we approve the agenda.
Second.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Hello, Miss Graham.
Thanks, Liz.
Good to see you.
Hey, hi.
It's fine.
You have an extra package there, huh?
Right behind you.
Sign this to all, right?
You're right here.
Thanks.
Sure. All right, we're on item 7. Public comments, not on the agenda. Do we have any public comments?
Oh, we get to do 6 for the agenda.
Right, we did. We
Oh, you did it.
Yeah.
Need a motion?
Who made the motion? I think I made the motion. I made the motion. Have you seconded and all approved?
Okay, we do have a public comment. Victoria, Santa County Public Health Department. Let me just skip.
Yeah.
Good evening, Commissioners and City Staff. Next week, Victoria Partida, I'm with the Sacramento Public Health Department. For the past 3 years, we've community on our Gilroy James initiative to encourage residents to walk, bike, or walk to community hubs such as libraries, clinics, and other destinations. This work was funded through a active transportation program grant received by the public. As the grant ends, the Public Health Department is conducting a survey to gather information about how residents and employees in the downtown and East Gilroy neighborhoods participate in walking or bicycling in the Gilroy community. The survey is open now until May 9th, 2025, and can be taken online, paper by format by request. It is available in English and Spanish, and we will not be collecting any personal information. We invite all the commissioners, council staff, and residents who live, work, or play in Gilroy to take this. I do have printed copies of the survey for your convenience with me, and then you'll also see some of our signs around town that fit. Scan the QR code and the 30-minute survey. We will be out in Gilbert promoting the survey. Please feel free to stop by our table and ask any questions that you might have. I'm happy to come back and share the result at a future meeting. In addition, we are looking for community volunteers to help conduct our bicycle and pedestrian counts. Conducting counts helps us capture the number of people walking and bicycling in specific areas, help document project impact and improvement and any future funding, and it justifies future funding for active transportation projects here in the council will take place in 3-hour shifts on Tuesday, May 13th from 6 a.m. to 9:30, and then that same day, 3:30 p.m. to 6:30, and on Saturday, May 17th from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. For your day.
Thank you. Any other Adam? Okay. Thank you for that. Okay, so the next time on the agenda is the staff presentation about Civic Center Master Plan.
Hello, everyone.
Hi there.
My name is Brian Hopkinson. I'm the project manager at the Public Works. The projects I'm working on is our Civic Center Master Plan. Did everybody get a copy of the green layout?
Yes.
What I have on now.
So one of the things we are working on is updating kind of the footprint of our civic center. We had a civic center master plan that was passed and partially developed from the early 2000s, and that the result of that is the new police headquarters and the library. What I'm working on is evaluating our property to see where we can kind of bring Gilroy into the 21st and 22nd century. And the buildings that we have served us very well for quite a long period of time. And we're looking to develop them and create the next generation of Gilroy. So our focus is everything from Dowdy to Church between 6th and 7th. There are 3 houses on that block on Dowdy that we do not own. We are not developing those. Those houses are staying as they are. They're not part of it in any way, shape, or form. The drawings that you see here were developed by the architect of record. That's a company called ELS. They were awarded a public contract to help us develop this plan. What we are doing right now, we're hosting community workshop meetings to gather feedback from the residents of Gilroy, from separate commissions, anybody that really is involved in civic business within Gilroy. So we can develop something that works for everyone. These plans take a long time to come to fruition. So we need a lot of input now so that we can build everything to what we want it to be 8, 10, 15 years from now. So what we are doing right now is we hosted our second community workshop last Tuesday in Wheeler Center. And our next one, our final one, is going to be on May 20th in Wheeler. We'll have 2 sessions, one at 9 a.m., one at 6 p.m. Our plan for that one is to present what we believe is going to be our final preferred concept. We've taken and we made these 3 concepts that you see in front of you, but what we present then is going to be different. Everything that we're doing right now is to try to drum up ideas and think of things in new ways, and really see what we can expand. When we started this process, we had no idea that we'd be able to put a park within our footprint. And then come to find out we absolutely can. And not only can we can fit quite a large one. So if you look at section C right here, this is just a good example. I like to use this one as the example. It has a rounded amphitheater for the park. Has anybody here seen the Morgan Hill Amphitheater? You guys know the one downtown? But Morgan Hill Amphitheater can hold about 2,400 people on its busiest day. If we build this layout with this size park, we could hold about 5,000 people. Wow. So we have quite a bit of land to work with within our footprint that we're trying to develop. So the goal for us would be a new multi-generational center, which on this document is labeled arts and seniors, but for us, that's going to be a multi-generational center. That's going to hold a youth center, a teen center, a senior center. The current thought, if we put a half gymnasium in there for things like indoor pickleball, indoor activities, a place where you could use smaller recreation setups, right? Like half court basketball, things along those lines. We would also develop a recreation and aquatic center. The aquatic center would be an outdoor center with 2 pools. One that's more like a small play pool, and one that's a little bit closer to a lap pool, not quite Olympic size, but along those same lines. Then the recreation center would be a full use recreation center with multi-purpose rooms, multiple gymnasiums in it. What else am I? All of our buildings would be 2 stories as well. So one thing that we're looking at for the recreation center would be a 2nd level elevated outdoor walking track, just to kind of create a little more life within our footprint. You know, we've spent the last decade plus investing significant funds into the downtown development, redeveloping Gourmet Alley. The keystone to connecting everything really is the Gilroy Civic Park. That's why we're focusing that on the Church Street side, closest to the downtown. So I'm more than happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
If I could just say, so when we talk about what these would be, it is what they could be, just to be clear. And they've been facilities in general that have been identified by the community. Obviously, we have aging facilities in place, and some which don't exist at all at this point. But all of these are what could be in sort of looking at programming as a more than what exactly is of these. So keep that in mind. This is leading into, and this is the first piece of doing larger civic center master plan document and sort of looking at it. Next steps to this would be looking at building height, building massing, some architectural elements to it to get some kind of thematic elements to that point. And that would also include additional community outreach and work through this. So this is, it could be seen, and I think some are seeing this at the end of the process. This is just the beginning of the process where we need to start. Starting is because we need to prepare the environmental document for this. And we have to have at least the footprint of the project area and kind of some idea in square footage and kind of programming to be able to do the environmental analysis, look at our parking, look at our coverage issues, look at various pieces of all of this. So that's where we are and why we're kind of at this point, and this checkpoint is to sort of say, this is what we could do here. This is what you could look at in terms of the facilities. This is what we think we could get roughly square footage wise. Again, the pools themselves, this is a vision for that, but not necessarily what necessarily has to happen at the end. It's a concept. It's a proven concept to provide an aquatic center that is reasonably close to revenue neutral. With in terms of play so they allow things of that nature by groups, birthday parties. So it's not just looking at it's just those swimming lessons, only that. opportunity to sort of balance and year round. So it's not a Christopher Aquatic Center issue that we're kind of all struggling with right now. So just keep that in mind. I think for this commission particularly, I know that those are kind of things that are in your interest. So.
I'm curious, I know that city email went out with people asking people to vote for their different preferences and any comments. Have you seen any of those surveys?
So we've gotten a little over 20 responses.
So just, so 20.
The
And when did
survey's
that,
still open through next Monday.
okay,
And it's available in English and Spanish. I viewed the full presentation from ELS as well on the website.
so I've encouraged us as commission, I know I forwarded it to people, members of my family, my friend group. I encourage all of us to send that email out to
Yeah.
folks, 20 people who have input. I'm glad I'm one of those. I'm pretty
Yeah.
influential on my design program. Okay,
We're very much in the design phase right now. We're still working on figuring out layouts, and once you have your layout size, then you can figure out room allotment and what all you can fit in there. But we're very excited about the opportunities we have because there's a good footprint we can work with and a lot of things that we will really want to.
Ryan, correct me, but there's been multiple surveys. This is just 20, is the most recent process. So there's been each step.
So we had first community session was on March 7th.
Right.
We issued a survey, then we had about 60 responses. We had 100 attendees between the first two meetings, about 60 responses on the survey. The second meeting was last Tuesday, and we had about 60 attendees. And so far, we've got a little over 20 with 22 responses. And that's today. And then our third and final one is scheduled for May 20th. So if you're free, please come. 9 a.m., 6 p.m. Winter Center.
Would you say the responses are relatively low? In terms of maybe more of the feedback that you were all expecting from?
Say that. Well, our partner ELS has done this in multiple cities, and they've actually said our outreach has been very good. And the return response we've got has been higher than some other cities of comparable size. So I feel confident that we're doing the things we need to do to try to spread the word. It's difficult to get people to come out on a Tuesday at 9 a.m. or 6 p.m. But the good thing is we have a little bit of time. We're trying to really spread the message, which is why I'm here today to help encourage and
Nice.
get as much of our community out on May 20th as we can.
appreciate that. And I think we'll have some opportunities later on the agenda. We talk about some of the activities that we want to participate in for Dave, and we can take some of this to those places and pass out.
Do you guys have any like flyers or like
We
QR
do.
codes you can?
We do have a flyer. Yeah.
And how are you doing the outreach to get people to participate, show up?
So it's been included in the email blast that goes out every Friday. Doing social media posts. We've hung door hangers on every resident from 3rd Street to 10th Street, Prince Val to Ivory. So everybody within the immediate vicinity has at least had a door hanger placed on their door. We are doing inserts into water bills, so everybody across the city that gets a paper water bill is getting it inserted into their utility bill. And then a lot of social pushing for word of mouth. Me coming to a meeting with every commission within the city since early April and then March. So yeah, just trying to really push it out.
Excellent.
And we'll just state that my experience is this. If it's something people fear, they will come out. In droves. If it's something they like, they kind of assume that. And I'm not saying it's an absolute, but it tends to be if it's a non-threatening, and this really, I think it's very much a non-threatening kind of. Particularly because it's still a very concept. So. Say, we'd love to have more folks out. More places. And it is very difficult. We are, say, we're in the process of looking at how to reach out to the east side in a different way, and so we're looking at that in May to. Okay.
Yeah.
We've been in contact, Ryan. I think we can just follow up. We're very curious. You can do Cafecito or any of our youth programs. We have Wheeler Gym, Late Night Jam. We can stay in contact.
Yeah, email you back.
So we recognize there's some gaps, perhaps some of the conversations that we want to make sure we provide at least an opportunity.
Just a quick question. Does the May 20th interfere with, not interfere, but kind of conflict with our meeting? Is it the third? Fortunately.
It is.
We could talk about starting with, trying to shorten it up a little bit.
I was gonna suggest you want to move the meeting. It's on the side of the agenda. We can-
So our meeting is expected to take anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. If you want to come for the first part and delay yours for 30 minutes and come just see the initial presentation, you can still provide feedback at that point. But that's totally up to you guys. If you also want to come late, we'll be there for 60 to 90 minutes.
So,
I attended last week's meeting.
Yeah.
And I got a lot out of it.
Good.
It was very good. I have a question, but I think probably I'm gonna ask it, but if it's a dumb question.
If I can answer it, I'll answer it. If I
Okay.
can't, I'll invite you to make
So
sure.
when we got down to B and C,
Okay.
there was a strong recommendation for those two. The question I have is that B and C, there's 5,000 people in the amphitheater, and next door is the library. How is that gonna be addressed?
Well, what I would say is, don't focus so much on the exact layout of B and C, because what we present on the 20th will be different.
All right.
These were the initial concept ideas. Mayor Bozo presented some new information to ELS that has caused us to rethink how some buildings can be laid out.
Yeah.
And that will affect the plan. One of the thoughts is that we don't build City Hall in that park area. We build it on its current location. So that would change the layout of buildings, the orientation of the park, things all along those lines.
So do you,
But to answer your question,
Yeah.
without answering it.
Yeah.
We would take those things into consideration. For example, we would not position the stage so that all the sound is going towards the library. It would be angled so that it would be.
so if we wanna go to that next meeting, is that okay?
Absolutely,
We've already been to it.
absolutely. The next meeting would be completely different from the last. The only thing I would say is if you come on the 20th, go to either 9 AM or 6 PM, because that would be the same meeting on that day.
so,
What we have on the 20th will be completely different from the previous. Okay.
so I think Monica brought up a good point. So I guess I'd like to ask the people that are sitting around us, who wants to go to that meeting can only make the 6 PM meeting?
Me.
Wait a minute, say that again?
Who wants to go to that meeting on May 20th and can only make the 6 PM meeting?
Sure.
Yes,
He would suggest we see if we can push the meeting, the rec meeting to the 27th, perhaps. We need to make sure we don't have conflict, but the folks can look at their agenda. We should be able to go and not worry about this meeting and I also don't want there to be any confusion about whether this is a continuation of a public meeting, meeting by this commission or not. You may attend that individually, and if we kind of have this journeying feeling of somebody could take us to task on the issue. We can get a task. So our recommendation would be to see if we could push to the 27th, recommend meeting.
Meetings on the 27th.
Okay, that's true.
That's the fourth. Tuesday.
It's for Tuesday. And worst case, we've done it before, is we can always have. I think we should be fine.
okay. Any other questions for Ryan on the presentation? All right, we'll figure out the 27th later. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you very much. Forward to seeing you.
Appreciate it. You. Item number 9, new business.
No.
So could you clarify for those of us, what exactly does new business mean? Is that something that's we want to bring up at this?
So, new business is just an item that hasn't been introduced before to the commission. So, for example, when we did the pickleball study last year, on the first meeting that you had, the pickleball study was under new business. And then after that, the subsequent meetings, it was under old business.
Gotcha.
Some people would just continue.
Not just,
Furthermore, to explain that a little bit more, we wanted to bring up something where we get a hold of you and say, Adam, I want to introduce a topic to our meeting where it will fall under new business, and we can talk about it.
it depends. Yeah, it would be, well, if it's a new item, yes, it would be.
Let's say a volume of each course.
Yeah, I mean, the whole, well, the reason you have a work plan is in the granted, you are wrapped. And, but with the new work plan, that should keep the commission focused, keep it busy. When you start bringing in outside items that have nothing to do with the work, then the work plan, in many cases. And the point is that this is what, this is what you need. Now, with that, said, there'll be times where someone's, for example, from the planning division will come and say, we have this development and there's a park, and we need to get the Generation Commission to weigh in on this. So that would be considered new business. It doesn't impact your work plan. It's typically just a one-time item. But that would be where it would be a new business item.
Thank you, Al. Okay, so, move on to item number 10, old business, and 10.1 specifically is the work plan. We were talking about that, so we have a new work plan. It's in our packets. It should reflect everything that we worked on in the last two meetings. This is a chance for us to discuss the work plan. This is a chance that if we're working on something, what needs to be done, how we're gonna do that. So this is the time and the agenda that this is kind of the meat of what we're doing. So, you want to take it from there?
Yes, yeah. So if you turn to the work plan item in your packet, we recommend going to this spreadsheet. I'm sorry that it printed so small. But if you go to the far right column, which is called status, and you go to what's in bold, those are the updates since the last meeting. Now, again, this is the current work plan. This is not the new work plan that was proposed and submitted from, since the last meeting. And so if we go down to participate in citywide events, so that's the third item on your work plan. It says in progress. You actually have, so there are two events this weekend. Chair Ramirez, do you want to?
Yeah. So the two events that we have are Earth Day, which is going to be at San Isidro Park. Caras is part of that. And there's going to be the plant sale, the Gilroy annual plant sale over at Christmas Hill by the Red Miller, by the Miller Barn. So we're going to have an opportunity to present to both places. And this is, I think, part of what we've all decided is to get more involved in the community. I'm looking for volunteers to attend one or both. The hours for the plant sales, do you know what the hours on that?
I believe it's 9 to 2.
Okay.
And then Earth Day is from 12 to.
And you're gonna have the rec team's gonna have a table there already, so.
So the rec team will have a table at the garden, at the plant sale, the garden, I think they call it the gardens.
Mhm.
And that's at Christmas Hill Park, right by the Miller Red. And the city will also be giving out compost. So bring a shovel, bring a bucket. But yes, the rec table will be there will be a rec staff member with table, chairs, table cover, items to hand out, also have a craft there. So if commissioners want to be there, they're more than welcome. I'd like to know tonight how how many chairs that we need. And then Chair Ramirez will be at Earth Day at San Isidro Park. He's going to be picking up the equipment on Friday. And so that's from 12 to 4. So there's a bit of an overlap. I'm sure Chair Ramirez would like to have a second commissioner. And if there's anyone who's interested in attending the morning one at Christmas Hill Park, no.
So if anybody wants to come, you can let me know now, or you can call me, text me, email me.
And just so.
I'll do the morning.
one other thing, just as a side note, Commissioner Jimenez spearheading an Easter egg hunt on the other side of
Oh, Lord.
on the major field on Saturday, April 19th, 9 to
Two.
2.
Yeah, so I'll see you there. It's a busy day in San Isidro Park.
No,
No,
that's.
it's Christmas
Oh,
Hill.
it's Christmas.
You better walk if you can walk there.
Louis, I will come.
Okay.
You,
Right there?
so we just are gonna have the booth at the gate control
Yes.
for there.
Yeah, but again, if commissioners want to, if anyone else wants to attend the garden sale, there's space, for you to be there. We have a rec leader who will be there. She'll be facilitating an arts and craft project, but someone else wants to be there. It's a big turnout. I go almost every year to the garden sale.
Do we have, like, so we could just use your,
Yeah, so it'll be like a table just like this. There'll be a table cover, chairs set up, we'll have some items to hand out. So it's a really good opportunity to interact. As I mentioned, the turnout's usually really.
And what time was it? What does it start?
That is from 9, it's 9 to 2. If you just want to stay for a couple hours, you don't have to stay the whole time. It's probably around 11, 12.
it might, maybe I'll stop by in the morning
Yeah.
to get ideas of what to say
Okay.
during the day. So I'll.
If you want to let me know, maybe by Friday.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just making like.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and I will pick up the table and the cover on Friday morning and then get it'd be nice to get my hands on the QR code thing. I'd like to coordinate that with
Oh, you know
Ryan
what? No, I'm gonna reach out to him and help.
and then the rec. Okay,
Yeah, so I'll have like a.
Perfect.
Things for you.
okay. So, all right, great, thank you.
Box of response.
All right.
Mhm. So so is there anyone else interested in participating? Again, if you want to just come for a couple hours, that's fine too. I'm hopefully for those of you who don't have your polo yet, I'm hoping to get them by Friday, so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
let you
be
know
there.
if it's not.
Do you want us just to email you? Or
Yeah,
do you want?
email me that, hey, I'll be there. Just let me know by Friday by noon, so we
Okay.
can.
One more thing, Adam, so this work plan is our old work plan, so if we have other things that are in the pipeline that commissioners have been working on that relate to our work plan, that would be for the next meeting when the new work plan gets formally adopted, is that correct?
Yes, now, if there are other citywide events, because, it could be, so if there's another event coming up, I know there's like Cinco de Mayo.
Yes,
You had mentioned.
so that's another one.
Yeah, you can table at that one too. I do want to point out, every year, I think this is the 4th year, Bike to Wherever Day. Parks and Recognition tables at the levee, at the Miller Avenue entrance, Christmas Hill Park. And we're out there at 6:30 in the morning with donuts, bananas and goodies and tote bags, which we give out. So it's a Bay Area wide celebration of biking to wherever. It used to be called Bike to.
What's the turnout for that?
The turn typically, and I actually keep track, we usually get about 50 people. So we're there from about 6:30 to about 10 in the morning. And we get students who are going to school, we get some families. We do actually get people who are going to work. We should get about 5 to 10 people from City Hall. This is on May 15th. It should be a Thursday. I'll send out a reminder.
And don't people volunteer have to ride their bike there to the levee?
Well, we try to.
If we go participate at 6:30.
Yeah, it'd be awesome if you do, not if.
Bring your big diesel truck.
And the last 2 years, we've made it on the front page of the newspaper.
Yeah.
Commissioner Bozo, I believe, was featured in it last year. Yeah,
Especially with the
police officers are on bike and make a visit. The school resource officer last year.
I think it's better than
Sure.
people think, excuse me,
when you have.
because we're there on the levee and people are driving by dropping their kids off usually at the high school, and they're wondering what's going on. So it's a nice, if we had something that was a banner that was even bigger, you know, something, so people know that there's something going on.
Yeah.
Or there's a bike day.
Sam?
So Jesse says that I have to go on social media to find out about these events. Is there any other way that I could find out about it since I'm not a social media guy?
See the newsletter, the city newsletter,
Uh-huh.
like the Bike Wherever Day will be.
Bike ride, no problem. I know about that. The other two events, San Ysidro and the barn,
I can't comment on those because those are being done
somebody else.
non-other. organizations.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
I have seen paper flyers for both events. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of it is done.
Yeah, that's a good point, Sam. Those are hard to come. If you're not on social media, they don't come through the city.
Yeah.
You have to, they're harder to
Okay.
find. Speaking of which, on May 4th, there is a Cinco de Mayo, put on by, Ruben, who's in Arts Commission and does La Ofrenda. He's offered us to do a table there, which I think would be good for us. That's gonna be probably a good event. It's gonna be the first one ever. It would actually,
Is it a San Ysidro?
it's at, no, it's at, is it Christmas Hill? Yeah, Christmas Hill Park. So they're gonna, yeah, they're gonna run.
Meeting with him today.
Okay.
Do you want to come
I don't need to go that.
online?
Okay. I don't need to, you can.
Yeah, we're just gonna talk about table placement. I think the planning commission's gonna be there too, and stuff,
Okay.
so it's just gonna be 50 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get all the stuff you.
That should be a good turnout. We can, again, part of our budget we put in for table and it'd be nice. I think in the future, what I'd see is having a spinning wheel, giving away free scholarships, giving away footballs, you know, soccer balls, that kind of stuff. So hopefully we can do that in the future.
How do, Cinco de Mayo, fine, but it's Sunday, 8 to 1. We're gonna get, does that interfere with you going to church or whatever? How is that?
Station event. This is,
Excuse
again,
me?
it's an event.
Okay.
It's an outside organization, so
Okay.
I'm sure they
figured
recognize
it out.
that, you know.
Okay, thanks.
So one of our goals is to get more involved in the community. I think this is a good one to do. We'll definitely have, take the table out there. Anybody else wants to join me? Again, it's to promote Parks and Rec, so it's having the Park and Rec guy, you know, all, anything that we can promote. Some recreation, that's what it.
I'll be out there running, so
Okay, good for you.
maybe I'll wear my name tag.
Yeah. Come by, stop by, and just tap on the table. Yeah.
Nation to hand out about Pacific Plan and Master Plan as well as we can.
Yeah, yes,
Yes, sir.
so actually that's what Luis was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach out to Brian probably on Thursday and get this.
Okay.
So when Luis comes, when Chair Ramirez comes by, I'll give him the and then I'll give the rec here.
Sam, did you have something?
So both,
Yeah.
they're both.
The times, this Saturday.
Saturday is 12 to 4 for San Isidro and 9 to 2 for Christmas Hill.
9 to 3,
2 o'clock.
9 to 2. Thank you.
There's actually another event. It's also gonna be coming up. It's the other Nino event. It
Uh-huh.
happens at San Isidro Park.
Hmm.
It's part of the Party in the Park series. It's a pretty cool event. It's a community event where folks can just come participate in free community activities for youth, families, a lot of giveaways, resource fair. Could be with entertainment, give out, it's May 2nd. It's May 2nd. That one's in the evening from 5:30 to 8 p.m. And we do have the opportunity to table if we want to, for this event. They're capping out at 25. This time around for agencies to table. So if that's something we're interested, definitely do that as well. I'll also be there. I'll be at all these events, by the way, in different capacity, but, that one's 5:30 to 8. Yeah, and it's pretty cool. You know, I recommend you come out, bring your family. If you have kids, bring them along. There's free activities, entertainment. There's been petting zoos, jump houses, bull riding.
No.
Oh, oh,
Is that May 4th?
May second.
May second.
May second.
Yeah,
Heading to.
Like, not in there.
And there's parking, down in middle school.
there's a lot to do.
Moving on the Parks and Rec Commission, I do want to make a comment on the pickleball facility, the last city council meeting. Our recommendation was presented as part of news. It was duly noted and put through the council, so they have our top locations. So now just a reminder, now it's about budgeting and kind of budgeting we get if we're gonna build something. Keep an eye out for that and look at city council activities. Anything else on the work plan? This is the old work plan, and your work plans in front of council that we'll focus on that one when that one gets approved, but there's no other comments on this.
It's the story walk.
Oh, yes.
It is still being awaited in terms of getting final signatures, so hopefully we'll get. So,
So just a quick question, once that's signed, if we do a new one and we raise the money, we want to do one at San Isidro, I would assume that's gonna go a lot faster, I think.
yeah, it should,
Okay.
because we already have the terms.
Okay.
So, we just have to make an addendum because it does specify Christmas.
Okay, good. All right. There are no further comments on this older work plan. We can move on to the next item, which is Park Recreation Updates, Recreation Division. Adam?
Yeah, so turn to this report here. I added pictures and things, make it even more colorful. So I'm just gonna go down the list. This is just a snapshot of what the recreation team is doing. Okay, so we'll start with adaptive. I'm not sure if everyone's familiar with the adaptive program. It's been around for many, many years with Gilroy. Deep roots here. They meet 3 days a week, 2 days at the Senior Center, 1 day a week at the Gilroy Bowling Alley. They go bowling every Monday. And these are adults who have a variety of needs. Some are higher functioning than others. But they're a wonderful group, very appreciative. And so we've been doing a lot of activities, especially with the weather getting better. So you can see on this page, the top 2 photographs feature an outdoor activity. You know that little patch of grass next to the senior center? It never really gets used. That's where these pictures were taken. So we utilized that space where they played Jenga, they played cornhole, this other game where you toss a soccer ball into it.
Is that
Adam?
video?
Yes, and that is also, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because this wasn't sitting.
Sam?
The fishability, are you notified about that? Fishability,
Yes,
okay.
yes, yeah, so Fishability, another long time event, this is at Nick Alpine Lake near San Juan Bautista. So every year, the Sportsman Chefs host the adaptive community in Gilroy. Usually they have anywhere from, I would say, 70 to 90 participants and their families. And they teach them how to fish. So they load the lake up with fish like the day before, and have a barbecue, donuts, coffee, and these people have been coming for years, so they know that there's a lot of. It's a really nice communal feel. I go every year, and it's great to catch up with people you haven't seen in a while. It's a very inclusive day. It's a great opportunity for the adaptive community to be involved in the
Cool. Do you have a date on that?
Yes, so it is Saturday, April 26th.
What's the age group for that?
Age group, honestly, I would say 13. Yeah. We do need to, some participant does need to register in advance. They can do so either online or they can come to the recreation office. So I'm gonna move to aquatics. So today at 9 AM, the aquatics registration through Swimming Swamps. This is a outside contractor who's providing the services at Christopher High School Aquatic Center. So they opened up registration today for swimming lessons, and for other types of programs like junior lifeguard, some certification classes, but the big one is swimming lessons. And they offer a lot, morning, afternoon, different levels, parent and need, they offer private lessons. They offer them on the weekend, they offer them during the week. So they offer a lot of varieties, doing their best to accommodate everyone's needs. So, and my kids have done it, and they do a really good job. Anyway, so that is open today, and then the opening day, pretty cool, will be Memorial Day weekend, that's, which I think is May 20th. Gilroy Senior Center, so yes, so if we go back to your picture page, we had a visit from the Gilroy Exchange Club. I was on compost duty that day, that's why I have blue gloves on. But they wanted to take a picture, and they were there during St. Patrick's Day, passing out meals, I think they cookies. And it was really nice. They come a few times a year and help out, just schools.
Exchange club.
It's very,
Don't put me on the spot. It's a group of people that, involved in the community and look at ways that they can further, serve what am I trying to say? People that aren't need that service. We don't really go, like, we'll go to the Salvation Army and we'll provide money, or to St. Joseph's too. So a lot of times it's not the involvement with the people as much as we're donating time and money to,
Is it a nonprofit?
yes, Exchange Club is a nonprofit.
Okay. How many people?
You know what? I couldn't tell you right now because it's less people that attend and more that are already signed up. So I would probably say easily there's 20 of us. And it's a real low key kind of club. You know, we go in and we're Mamma Mia's, have lunch, and people can come up with ideas or opportunities to serve. And we'll talk about that and see. And if someone is really enthusiastic about that and can, rope a couple of people in there, then something happens.
So
Yeah, it's a service. It's a service.
every year you guys do the senior center?
it's on the least, no, I would say like.
We do Valentine, yeah, we'll do the holidays, Christmas, Valentine's, and we serve the food and have things going on, and it's well attended. And you really do see the seniors coming out too, which is really nice. It's a really comfortable situation for them.
Nice.
Yeah. That's good.
Good news from the senior center, so next week, we are going to have automatic door openers installed. We have them installed in the main entrance into the rec office, but there's on the senior service entrance side, there aren't any, and I've been pushing this for years. And so we finally got the contract approved and they'll be installed next week. They'll also be installed for the restrooms. So instead of people pulling the door, they can just push a button and the door will automatically open for both the men's and women's
That's
restrooms.
great.
We just finished theater, children's theater production Honk, which was at Gilroy High School. They had anywhere between 8 and 10 shows, and over 80 people in their cast. So they ended up having 2 casts. And it was the last production of the theater director, who is a longtime director here with the city. She's not an employee, she's an independent contractor, but she's done a great job. Her name is Hillary Little. She's moving, so we wish her the best. Miss her. Tonight, so every Tuesday, starting tonight, we are starting drop-in adult co-ed volleyball. Wheeler Gym. And I'm very excited about that. If you look at the recreation guide, it tilts overwhelmingly to children and youth programs. It is much harder finding programming opportunities for adults for a variety of reasons, but we've noticed that volleyball has been very successful actually on the Eastern End. And so we wanted to provide another opportunity at Wheeler. So Tuesday nights, there's at Wheeler. Like pickleball, if you've ever gone to drop-in pickleball, there's an $8 drop-in fee, or you can buy a punch pass for $80 and get two admissions free. $80.
So you said that 8 is for the volleyball or for the pickleball?
I'm sorry, so both. So if you play pickleball, Wheeler on Monday and Wednesday morning, it's an $8 drop-in. I'm sorry, it's a $10 drop-in fee, or you can get the punch pass. Or 10.
What time is it? Pickleball?
It's from 10 to 12:30.
I don't know, that would show my skills.
How many people are on a court?
So it's 4 people, and there's 3 courts.
Okay,
So we can have as many as 12 people.
okay.
Yeah. And then after the game, if there's people waiting, they rotate. Yeah. So everyone is option. Anyways, I'm gonna keep going here because we also have parks. All the reports coming up. Summer day camp. So last year we brought back the first time since COVID, the city-run traditional day camp, which was held at Gilroy Gardens. We are actually in the midst of doing the staff recruitment for new staff. We actually have a lot of our camp counselors from last year coming back, which is great.
Nice.
So we don't have to hire as many and train as many. And the camp will begin right after school.
How many kids did you have last year? Yeah.
Well, combined, we had 2 separate camps going, a little less than 400. Yeah, so we're hoping for.
Wow. So you gotta hire enough coverage.
Well, they're not. One time.
There's.
It's
Okay, you're
over.
not- you're accommodating.
So it runs on a weekly basis, right? So you sign up for 1 week. And then, so our goal, our camp that's full would be like 50 kids. We don't expect every week to be full, but some weeks are, just depends on, one.
Great, but what do we do that?
So 1 day a week they go on a field trip. It's always kind of big. It could be going to the Tech Museum. It could be the San Francisco Boardwalk.
Oh, wow.
That's obviously the big highlight. But they also do arts and craft projects. They do camp songs. They do skits. Since it's at Gilroy Gardens, they go into the park. They go on the rides. They have a water section, so they can do that. They also have docent-led tours. So once a week, the docents who are all volunteers, they do, because they have obviously a big plant, exhibits. So they take the kids around and show them that. So we try to offer both educational and by the end of the day, kids. Parents.
Oh, shit, that sounds really good.
It is. So it's $300 right now, and on May 1st, it goes up to $350.
For the whole week.
For the whole week, yes. And by the way, it's from 9 to 4. We do have, though, for those who are incomfortable, they can send in
Money that we have money.
$25. After May 1st, it would be $30
The whole week?
for the whole.
And there's scholarships available for that?
And
Thank you.
that's the scholarship.
Okay.
So that's a separate scholarship from the typical scholarship.
What scholarship is that? What's the name of it?
It's the summer day camp scholarship.
And what's the other one?
The other one's just the recreation youth scholarship. So
And
that one's typically used for like soccer league or dance classes.
where does the funding come from that one? Is that
So the youth scholarship fund, it's come over the years. And by the way, the Exchange Club has been a generous donor. It's from private donations. The camp being covered through recreation.
Okay.
And it's to bridge the gap. So in prior years, we used to receive CDBG funding, which allowed the camp to be actually completely free. We don't have that funding this year, but we wanted to be able to provide an opportunity for students to go to camp. So we're able to do it essentially at 90%.
What are the dates of that again? When does it run?
The camp, the first week of camp is.
It's expensive when you have a lot of kids.
It is June
Great
23rd,
thing.
and then the last week is the first weekend. Okay, I'm almost done here. Youth Commission, so yeah, if you go back to your picture page, there's a picture in the lower right-hand corner. A commissioner and actually two rec leaders. So this was opportunity fair. We had about 200 attendees. This was organized, put on by the Gilroy Youth Commission, who just met last night. And they organized an event, which is essentially a career fair, but it's focused for teens in Gilroy. So it's not just jobs, it's also volunteer opportunities, internships. And so we had 24 resource providers. This was held at Wheeler Gym. And we had students from Gilroy High School, Christopher High School, GECA. We even had students from middle school, students from Morgan Hill come. We had all sorts of providers who were handing out material, jobs, internships, volunteers, opportunities. And then the last thing is Tree City USA. So because the commission hosts art, which is one of the requirements of maintaining your designation as a Tree City USA. The city of Gilroy was recently informed that it received its Tree City USA for 2024. So it has now been a Tree City for the past 44 years.
Nice.
1945.
And that is a multi-department.
Good.
All right, thank you, Kuzma.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Parks Division.
Well, yeah, here's what I wanted to start is the pictures in the back. Little bit, dated. I missed on the last meeting. Supervisor convention, mentioned. Connections, Expo, California Parks and Rec Commission. Society, so sorry about that, but, these ones are mostly a kind of snapshot of what we were accomplishing in March. The main focus would be in the field prep for Little League and softball. Los Animas, Christmas Park, and sports park, we did dragging the fields, resetting base pads, making sure that the pitching mounts are in the right. Little League wanted to utilize the ranch site, so we had to configure the field and sure that was ready for them. Picture on the top corner there is the bleachers at Christmas Hill Majors. I don't know if you guys been there in the past. Ouroboros and just been they're grounded by the schools for quite some time since then. Remove the bleachers and run in them with the floors and give it a fresh new base and the bleachers back. And pretty much did quite a bit of work. Closing up the scoreboard rust around the area there, which still continuing to work on that. Again, February, March. The regular service request mainline repairs. Very good common repair. All the tree of that, especially with the storms. Weed abatement, and then, for some reason, I can't keep the zero bike pumps around, we keep replacing those. It's going. Storm cleanup, see with the big rains we had. Just kind of view the pictures of sports park, Los Animas and you get a big rain, atmospheric river, that's kind of what they turn into, their own rivers, those park. And then just to kind of update you on what we've got going on, March through April, transition to getting ready for events, now spring's here, so the parks are getting busier. Trying to get the, place in shape for the events coming up. Let's say, Easter is on. Falls giveaway, we've been debating, guys, are from this week to complete all the mowing around the red barn. I think they're all ready to go. The mulch giveaway, so looking good, should be ready to go. You switch the maintenance schedule, so we'll have the fields mowed Friday, so it should be nice. Easter egg. San Isidro, the guys have been pressure washing the patios, the picnic areas. They're working to refresh the restrooms this week, repainting and cleaning, so we'll have a nice clean. Becoming a bad since next year. There's one, animus, have been replacing been working on replacing the water fountain. We're working in process. We've got one behind the backstop to the major field. We're still working on it. We've had spring break this past week, which comes with an increase.
Oh, that's animals, right?
Been busy.
Any specific area there or just in general? Like,
From the Oaks all the way out to Lakeside Picnic area, they've just been. Wanted. It's been three times this past week, so it's been a little bit of a. So it's kind of a war, but yeah. Happens, usually comes with the breaks. It's maybe. Break.
not in
Yeah, yeah, it happened. Then Sunday we had a vehicle take out our main backflow off of Mountain LA. Lakeside parking lot, so we're working on that as all with water. Sure. Matt has brought it up and we're, we replaced the Oaks restroom as well. We demolished that and installed a new one. Miller Park, yeah, repainted the restrooms.
Yeah,
car
thank you.
wash all. And big tables. And downtown, we've had the pressure washing contractor completed the downtown sidewalk cleaning. Staff will be next week, making repairs to the banner hardware. We're start painting the hometown hero banners. So they can be a month of for Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day. And then we have Mayor Bozo graciously donated plants to the downtown sale or to get a refresh. No, we just completed having 7 of our park sites that are refreshed this past week. Carriage Hills, Christmas Hills, San Isidro. Let's say I'm gonna see all the new bark.
Sorry, is that wood chip?
Yeah, the play fiber,
Oh, is it
In the
on the playground area? Is it around like in the landscape?
just the like.
It's an engineer. It's ADA requirements. Special.
Gotcha.
Then we finally got the precision, concrete cutting contract. That one contract that was like growing. We identified, 5 parks, Carriage Hills, Los Arroyos, Denny Catbird, Sunrise Mill, and Los Angeles. Yeah. Trip hazards, from all the race concrete.
Nice.
Sidewalks. on this thing. Weed abatement. Lucas Trail, Wood Park. Sixth Street Bridge, Judy Range, Westerville, Road, Carriage Hills. You know, on the, we're working on that. Well,
I'm sorry.
then, now that we've been working on a little bit of collecting sources, we're looking at identifying parks that have for the most outdated playgrounds. We're working on getting close at a record. Keep the bones as well. We're getting that identified that are over the next 5 years. So severely faded. Do some record. Out all the time. Catches. Closing. Identified. Lane Rainbow Park. Forest and. Los Angeles, just waited. Get it. We'll start to get some reduced parts we have. Then, well, that we're also looking at purchasing this week. And to refill it. Might need a refresh. Well, we got.
Sound real busy.
Little bit. Stop. 8. That includes you. Yeah. Keep that in mind. You do. I just pass it along to the community.
Team park, yeah.
Say too, every time I'm like on a walk, your staff is so friendly, and they always wave, they say good morning, like, it's really, really nice. Job.
Picture of each one of the commissioners. So they
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
To see that without picture.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Sam,
Is Jensen the primary caregiver of the parks? Clean, mowing and all of that?
All the greenscape, yeah.
Yeah.
They do all the parks, citywide parks. And then you'll see Alpine and Cal. Community.
Yeah.
But Jensen's our main contractor. Changes track.
They do downtown too then, huh?
I want to thank your staff and John and Matt. I know that you guys. I got contacted by a citizen saying, hey, I'm not taking my kid to the park anymore, and she sent me pictures of how the play structure had mold on it and it was old, and then the sand was full of, and so, your staff was out there, I think, I was walking by 3 days later, they're cleaning it all up. So that was, thank you very much, appreciate that, and I let her know that, and she very thankful as well for the quick response, so. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So, if I could do the, Vice Chair Mayor Martinez, sorry. That, had asked for some information or thought of information about the C-CLIP. And, we were not prepared to have much of that conversation, but I'm not sure everybody's aware. Through Gilroy Connect, C-Click Fix, which is basically the easiest way history to report concerns and issues out about, regardless of what it is, and where it is within the city. But parks, it's very helpful when we do know the idea is take a picture, send it in, let us know that there's an issue there. What I'm going to suggest is that we bi-monthly, every month, kind of bring back a report, give some information about what we're seeing, dealing with.
Be very up.
I've spoken about it. We think that the number of issues and concerns are going to drop pretty precipitously after the first piece of this issue. We're hearing about it, we're seeing things and dealing with it, but I understand it's doing a great job anyway. I think the thing to say is that at any given moment, someone could behave badly in a restroom and leave a mess, and so be kind and ask the community to be kind and understanding. But if it is a consistent theme, then we need to deal with it, address it. Regardless of consistent theme, we still need to address it. But so I hope we don't look at C-Click Fix as a community to say this is the aha kind of thing with that. We use it. Let us know, and hopefully not, not being it's a total response. Hey, we're doing that. Seeing the response and seeing the issues going. So didn't want to leave that untouched. I think that would be our recommendation. Certainly the next meeting we'd be happy to come back with the first, roughly 3 months of data on what we've seen and how it's happening, what trends are related to its parks.
Sounds good. Appreciate that. Yeah. Okay.
Something that we should be like communicating out at this point, or should we be holding off?
No, it's fully optional and out there. We've put it out and folks and so please share it. And we've been doing communications on that. It's for real running some beta testing on it behind the scenes. It's 2 months, almost a month and a half. We're still working on it. I can tell you this. There's an internal group that's working to work on just groupings and how we categorize things. And I think we still need some work. So it's a work in progress, but we'll make it something interesting because someone will go around that one with all the sort of farms and paths.
Good.
Sure. Some new faces here. My name is Matt Jones, Deputy Director of Operations. Pleasure to meet you all. Regarding C-Click Fix, it's helpful for us to have a reporting mechanism and have the metrics, the data to build plans and seek staffing, equipment, funding. So the more you can push this out to the public in your world, in your groups, it's helpful for us. But in addition, going through C-Click Fix, it's going to get the public a quicker response. A lot of people like to go through the mayor, city council, city manager, department head. That takes
commissioners.
It takes longer. And then it creates additional work on the back end because now we're logging it into C-Click Fix or going into CityWorks, and so there's added duties to that. So when you have public requests, mention C-Click Fix and let them take that picture, and it goes. I see every single one come through my desk. John's been really great on jumping on like this. As John Dowdy mentioned, they will slow down. So don't worry about staff time. We're going to do our best to engage community on the platform, take care of what we need to do. But again, that provides us the data, but then also we can provide better service. We'll be quicker. There's less of a chain of communication that sometimes get lost in translation. If you can see the number of emails we receive on a day-to-day basis, some things get lost and get secret clicks, they're there. And then there's staff. My admin staff is putting those into CityWorks, which is another CMMS program. Very similar, but it's internal metrics and data recording. So
Hey, Adam, do you have anything informational, again, at these tables that we're gonna be sharing, we're gonna be presenting the next,
Oh, for C-Click.
yeah.
I don't know, let me check with. Public
Michelle.
information.
Yeah. That'd be another,
What's the saying? What was it?
If you go on.
see, click, like you see it, you click,
Yeah,
see,
but
click, fix.
go on to the city's website and go to Guild Connect. That's really what we're trying to market as Connect. Because part of the reason is that
It's like fix,
the C-Click fix is around the idea of maybe you see
fix.
something messy or you see a pothole or whatever, get it fixed. Gilroy Connect, which is using C-Click Fix, is also about, you can schedule to a fire station and taking kids and touring a fire station. Not all about fixing, it's also about helping in the system. So there's a myriad of things that come out that we're trying to market it as Gilroy Connect. So if you go in, there's a big button right on the website and it's,
Is there a QR code? Something like that?
you know,
Would it be beneficial to have like signs at parks available for community to be able to access this kind of stuff with the QR code?
I think that the QR code is certainly a way to go and deal with that. This is being implemented out of, and so we'll take those comments, we'll push that, sitting on the internal committee to reassess and reevaluate some of these things. So I'll bring that. And frankly, you know, the issue I'll say is I've asked Matt and his talk about it in his group in terms of what they would like to see changed perhaps in terms of the categories. Public is, commission is certainly welcome to convey their thoughts or what. I think we're sort of looking at park issues. And you just go there and then you can click perhaps over drop down at the, restaurant. See what.
I just want to clarify because I have both apps, but you can use the C-Click Fix through the Gilroy Connect.
Yeah.
That's how we should be sharing it. So we can, people can see all of them.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Gilroy Connect.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
everything's there, download the app, and then you have an open line of communication.
Well, wouldn't download, can you use it without the app?
Yeah, so you can go, I was just on the city's website, it's the first thing you see, report of concern. Just click on that, it takes you directly to Gilroy.
That's great.
But I'm assuming the majority of users are gonna be mobile users. I don't think
Oh,
the majority of people are gonna hop on the computer and click on the city website. Right?
most like,
Well, as we were speaking, I was supposed to kind of just see clear Gilroy. And it just took me to Gilroy Connect. Like literally the first thing that popped up, just to kind of wrap up this episode, and take too much on the C click. It was literally first thing, and I kind of clicked through it, and you have everything. So C click Gilroy, and then the first option of the search was Gilroy, California report potholes, graffiti, street light, out there. So it's literally just there. Over. And it takes you to that.
And there's none.
And there's an app for those that.
We're gonna get John busy.
Oh. I do like the idea of connecting, not just for problems, but to connect with the city on different levels. So it's, I think the communication should be, yes, it's there to report problems, but it's also if you want, like taking a tour of a fire station, it's a great idea to take some kids through that. It's a way to connect with the city more direct.
All the recreation program, I haven't looked at it that much, but I saw the drop down. I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's nice.
Very good. Okay, so we've come to the point of agenda, we talk about our parks. So, item 12, thank you guys for your hard work. Appreciate it. So we'll go in the order that the agendas, we talk about one of our jobs is to monitor city parks, so. Sam, you're the first one on here on the agenda with Carriage Hills, Gateway and Mill.
So I have a question, John. That oak tree at Miller Park that has, do those things have to be around that tree?
We're looking to remove them and then we need to get an arborist report to make sure the tree is safe. Or. No, they've been trying to get guys in.
Probably, it needs to go on a to-do list, either do, get rid of it, or if they have to stay up and now, does Jensen do that?
No,
That's you, that's the 8 guys.
Yeah.
Okay,
We've on the like short list.
okay, thank you. Other than that, Miller looked okay, and last month, when the tree, or half of the tree came down, the next day it was gone. I mean, you guys did it. It wasn't Jensen, was it?
Street with Miller.
At Miller, yeah. Next to the resident.
Oh, yeah, that was a request from.
Yeah, I just wanted
to. The stuff.
It was done. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so that was Miller, and then, Gateway, it looks like people use the garbage cans, because I checked them out today. And it was kind of, because I wondered if anybody used that little park, you know. There was garbage in there. And also with the animals too. So that's great. That was Gateway, and then I went to Carriage Hills. And on Long Meadow, John, you remember you taught me how to get to Long Meadow? Yeah. So I went to Long Meadow, and there was a few bags of garbage, and it looked like they would been there for a while. So, you know, it wasn't getting anybody's way, but it was garbage. But not out, it was just in bags. So I just wanted to report that. That's on the corner of Rancho Hills and Long Meadow. Yeah, just a few feet up from Rancho. That's it.
Commissioner Graham, did you get a chance to tour Rainbow or Gilroy Sports Park?
No,
Okay.
I didn't. Sports park, yeah. Sports park is always immaculate. And I was seeing past vans and stuff like that park, but now I don't see stuff. You know, people just kind of like hibernating in their cars around. But I haven't gone as much to my parks in the last month or so, just to be honest with you. But they couldn't be that bad because they look great all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I think we have great parks.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Jimenez, Farrell, Forest, and San Isidro.
Thursday, I went by San Isidro Park to go walk. Looked good. No major concerns.
Yeah.
So, and Forest Park usually really clean and it was fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. Commissioner Martinez, Rainbow, Los Arroyos, Las Animas.
Cool, yeah, Rainbow and Los Arroyos both look very good. Touching a little bit on Los Arroyos and Las Animas, I don't know if this falls within our committee to maybe possibly replace the basketball nets or chains. Very worn down, some had them, some were partial. So we could maybe look into that, I don't know, process on that. And also possibly repainting some of the lines at the basketball courts and handball courts. A lot of them are starting to fade away. And in speaking to some of the community there, they wanted to do it themselves, but I told them I'd, bring it up to the commission and see if we can address that here. The water fountains, I forgot which water fountain. There was one water fountain at Las Animas Park. I think it was the one by the tennis courts. That one oftentimes stays on. So something with the levers probably getting stuck there. But if you push it hard enough, the water fountain will stay on. Let's see. I swung.
You're talking about the one by the between the pumps. reservation area and the tennis court or the one that?
Handball court, tennis court. I also did, in passing, pass by the San Ysidro Park, the handball courts on the backside. The courts on the side towards the freeway. There's, some minor tagging on the insides of the walls. I think sometimes can get overlooked. It really kind of blends in, but, it's still there. It's still visible. And I think that's it as far as, my park reports. I did have another comment. Now's the time to make it, or do we wait till after?
No,
No,
yeah, Christian,
Okay, cool. So there's a possible funding opportunity for a small wellness grant through the South County Youth Task Force, SE Heals. So I'll just go ahead and read it out loud for us. And this is something we can apply for. I think it'd be great. But the South County Youth Task Force and South County Health Equity for All Leadership Initiative, South County Heals, in collaboration with the Valley Health Foundation, are offering community wellness mini grants of up to $5,000. These grants support community organizations or groups working to prevent violence, address health disparities and equities, and support local neighborhoods in zip codes 95020 and 95037. So I don't know if this is something the commission has done in the past, apply for some.
we really haven't, so how would this relate to what we're trying to do on the work site?
Yeah, so there's two parts of it, right?
Okay.
One is, can we apply for this? If this is something that we can actually pursue. And then the other part of it would be figuring out, okay, if we do apply for this money, what do we want to apply it for? So I think it's kind of like a two-part conversation here. The only reason I bring it up is because the deadline to apply is on May 2nd, I believe. So it's only like about 2 weeks. It's a short turnaround time. It is more work for us, but it's good, you know?
So when it says, I heard anti-violence, is that related to our parks? Or is that related to rec programs? So if we got the money, we'd have to write the grant, so it's related to some kind of, I would imagine, a rec program or a park program, right, to get it? I'm guessing. I don't have a lot of experience with these kind of grants. I'm looking at you. Do you think that's how it would work?
Yeah, so it just depends what we wanted to focus on, right? A lot of that work that we're doing, a lot of the work that we mentioned for our new work plan to focus on Las Animas and activating at the park, you know, whether that's beautifying it, having more activities, whatever it is that may be, the funding would be applicable to that. So.
Any comments on your side from, if we took it from the recreation side, if we were able to, if we got the money and we had some kind of recreation program, that what would that $5,000 do for you?
Or maybe we want to invest it, right? Maybe we want to provide scholarships for kids to do more programs. We want to maybe invest in lighting, park improvements. There's just so much things that we can do with it. But I think first is to figure out, okay, can we apply for it? And if we apply for it, how would that go to the recreation budget? Do we have a budget?
Why a yes or no question? I mean, it's a little complicated. I think the first question is, a lot of times these grants, they're not for agencies, they're for. Do you know what the eligibility requirements are?
Yeah, so we would be eligible.
So public agencies.
Yeah,
Cities.
cities.
The last time this commission has participated in a grant, it was actually through Prop 68. It was through the state. It's a multi-million-dollar grant. It was right before the pandemic. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. But that was also 6 months in the making, you know, where there's regularly scheduled meetings. I mean, I think it was even part of it. So this one is coming up around. And at least in terms of, I just don't know if we can, because you don't even, the commission isn't aware of identifying. Or there's only so much.
Could we at the very least identify 5,000 for last time? Like, is that something that we can?
I guess it's what? You had mentioned programming. We would be receiving it to cover there's any like city recreation staff's wages, is it to cover equipment?
I think that's why I bring it to the commission.
I mean,
It's just- it just depends what we wanna do.
Mention that they wanna reline like that, you could probably do that with that. I don't know if that's. right.
Can you send me the?
Yeah, absolutely. We can connect after.
It'd be helpful.
It can help us.
Are they, cause I'm familiar with, obviously, is the grant being offered again? Cause is it like on a rotating basis, like every 6 months, every 3 months?
No.
Just a one-time thing?
Not Las Almas Park, I mean, I mentioned it before, but I'm not sure if the kids, I don't think the kids have, they play handball there. Bleachers right there, I'm not sure if that's something the parks is able to do, put bleachers right near the handball course so the kids could not sit on the floor or whatnot, but
Yeah, I don't think we have to make that decision now. I mean, it might be. Yeah, my view, if we qualify for the funding and we can take the money in and we can use it and we're flexibility, it's like, as long as we say, hey, we're gonna use it for Simus Park to
Park
for the
safety.
for the locals, yeah, for some kind of park improvement, then we can decide later on what to do that, all right? I totally cool with moving forward on that. The question is the details, who's gonna write it? Who's gonna review it? When's it gonna be done? Does the staff have the thing? Are we writing it? This is new ground for, at least for this group.
Do we have any priorities on our parks, on what is needed in our parks? So that, when money comes in or we get a grant, we know right away where the money's going to go. I mean, it sounds like it's like we're jumping into
This isn't a big grant, right?
No.
It's a $5,000 grant, so it's very, very doable.
And so.
But sorry, go ahead.
The question is, one, you laid it out, well, one is, are we? Many of these are really focused around NGOs, nonprofits.
Right.
Dealing with that, these chart, taking these small grants from that. So assuming that is the issue,
Yeah, and I'll double check on that.
then that's the conflict.
Mhm.
On these, the second piece of that then is areas of focus. So what is your area of focus? $5,000 doesn't go very far. I'd say the easiest grant, right up and dealing with that, if you're wanting to kind of go there, scholarship issue, that's the easiest.
Yeah, I hear that.
That. Any number of categories for that, and it's easy because it's easy to account for, minimal work in terms of administering $5,000. It's a lot of money in many circles for a lot of people, but in this realm, it's not. Kids getting like that changes one kid, maybe done something. So that would be the easiest thing. So back to, I think we did the last time. If there's a group of the three of you who want to form an ad hoc, work as an ad hoc, and look at preparing a grant, and the rest of you, because we have no time to come back and deal with that, say, leave it to chair to sign on this deal. Certainly we can help facilitate the ad hoc process, assuming we're eligible. That would be the process. This is a quick turnaround. These are usually a few pages, most kind of justification on them is what I'm assuming there. Again, the smaller the grant, sometimes the smaller the grant, the larger the mess it is to submit. That's only the Bay Area Air Quality District that does that too.
So John, if I've heard you right, then I think what we need to do if we want to move this forward is, as a commission, have a motion that we're gonna approve an ad hoc committee and decide on the ad hoc committee, 3 people, and that ad hoc committee would take it to the chair to sign off on, and we would run it by the city and then and then submit it. And I think using money for scholarships makes a lot of sense. Because we're always have, you know, kids need some help with that kind of stuff. So that's how I hear it. And I'd like to hear everybody else's thoughts on that before we move forward. Anybody else?
I just have one question. How dire is the issue with scholarships? We can always use scholarships. I mean, when I look at that price, what it costs me. So I'm just,
You can always, we would never turn it. In terms of dire. It's kind of ending to. Within the next 2 or 3 years, because we continue to receive funds from Gilroy Foundation, organizations like Exchange Club.
Yeah.
Some other generous philanthropists. So it certainly would be helpful. Yeah, I mean, it could, I was calculating in my head, I mean, you're looking at like. 25.
I mean, I really like the idea, but how do you, what do you find these? What are the considerations when we look at the kids that need help? What are they, what is it, you know? is
So
it-
we already have a program in this.
Okay,
Yeah,
we do.
and
Okay, so
so-
we could just run with it.
To kind of piggyback off. John was saying, if you're,
Like,
it's an easy program because it's already established.
Mhm.
Like, you're not starting. from zero. We already have the requirements, we can tell you how people will serve on
Okay.
on an annual basis, how much money each student is receiving. What the eligibility requirements are, you know, it's all there. I think the big thing is. Keep reiterating is number one, is the city of Gilroy eligible for, can the ad hoc committee come together and draft a sufficient grant proposal? Because as John said, it could be either 1 page, it could be 5 pages, they may have
Sure.
many questions. I just don't know. We haven't seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
It actually just got released today.
okay, so,
It's fairly,
I'm gonna make a motion that we approve an ad hoc committee consisting of 3 people. That me as the chair would sign off on the proposal, coordinate it with the city. And prepare it before the deadline of May 2nd. Assuming that we qualify for that. If you verify that, and we do qualify, that's my motion.
Second.
Okay. All in-
So you're proposing,
Forming an ad hoc
ad hoc,
and authorizing the chair to sign the application form. So. And there was a second by Sam. On the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so that passes. So now the next step is we need to come up with the ad hoc committee. We have 3 volunteers for the ad hoc committee.
I'll volunteer.
I'll volunteer.
The least I can do.
I'll volunteer. So we need 1 more.
Volunteer.
So we have 3 people. That's the ad hoc committee. So the 3 of us will work on that. I'll sign off on it. I'll bring it before John or Adam to get the final approval before we submit.
recommend probably meeting within the next.
Next few days. Okay. So I think we have our ad hoc committee. Motion's passed. Move forward.
Great.
Okay, cool.
Forward.
All right.
Oh.
All right. Emily, Commissioner Miller, your parts.
Sydney Casper looks great, Gilroy Sports Park looks great, Del Rey, last time I was there was significant flooding, which looks like it's gone now. Did you guys replace the sand? Because I don't know, like, I was like, how did, it looks normal now.
Maybe it's just back last month about we were still. in the
Yeah.
Storms.
Yeah,
So probably it's didn't have any.
yeah, I think it was, but it looks normal now. The equipment at the park, I'm glad you guys are putting funding towards that park because it looks kind of rough, honestly, all the equipment. Like the poles are still good, but it needs to be repainted and like I don't know what it's called, but like in between the poles, there's like raised platforms. They're rough. They look rough. So, yeah, now it's a glass. So I didn't know.
I didn't know that.
It's a nice park. It's large. But yeah,
Where is Delray?
it's kind of by Sunrise.
It's right next to Luigi Bridge.
Oh, that's still,
Oh,
Gaia del Rey.
the other side of
Gaia
town.
del Rey.
Okay.
I got it.
Yeah, so the equipment definitely, it like the whole park, I think, kind of just needs a refresh, like some of the side landscaping. I noted this before, it's washed out. Like there's no wood chips or anything in it. So yeah, that's the only part. You know, there's some graffiti on a bench that's also broken, which now I can use the app. I didn't think of it. Yeah, that's what I noted. The field looks really, really good. The grass looks great. I did, you guys said you got a concrete contractor to fix some trip hazards. There is one at Delray and it's marked in pink. Yeah, it's like along between the two playgrounds. So I don't know if there's gonna be funding to fix that. It is marked, but it looks like it's faded.
That's one we're looking at, some of that. Example. The bricks next to it.
It's not the bricks, it's the actual concrete cement.
Next to the brick.
Yeah,
Which color?
maybe.
Red.
Yeah, it's like pink. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
the. Even the perimeter.
Okay, yeah, that's great. So that was, you already answered my question. I did note that. I want to talk about the city app, the Gilroy Connect, which we already touched on, and then just so everybody knows, we have a joint use meeting with the city this week. I think Louis.
Tomorrow, okay, oh no, Thursday.
Yeah, today's Tuesday, so we're gonna be talking about pickleball and I think just general, you know, connecting with the schools and talking about joint use.
Open up the fields possibly during the summertime, that the ones that got fenced off. Mobley and, so yeah, we have a meeting Thursday with, some school district groups.
So I had,
Okay, thank you. Butcher Park, very small little park. It's there. It's basically a corner. Roble looks beautiful. It's just a beautiful, the grass looks amazing. Thank you for working on the play structure. Very much appreciated. It looks better already. Once the sand comes there in there, I actually talked to a young mother with her kid there and she goes, it's an improvement, still a little sticky for the, but she said it's better. So thank you. Sunrise, that's another beautiful park. I did notice that it looks like there's a broken pipe, John, on that part goes east-west on the north side on that dead-end street. That part of the grass, I got a picture of it now. I can send it to you, but there's a lot of water and mud in the middle. So that. In the planters? No, on the grass itself, on the park itself. They kind of mowed around it, so the grass is a little bit longer around it. They just kind of left it because it was pretty wet, so. And Ren's, okay, it looks fine. Thank you. Commissioner Vargas.
Nothing major to report other than the fact that Christmas Hill is full of kids. Well, there at least twice a week. And now that I know where See Quick Fix is at, I'll be using it instead of doing major reports, so that way. So like more or less live action.
Sliding kids.
Good.
Okay. All right,
I do have one more thing. I know, more work, I'm sorry, but we could table this for the next meeting.
what do you got?
I think it'd be super cool if we had some kind of like park cleanup days. I have a lot of youth that I work with that are actively looking for community service opportunities. So just having maybe a couple of days where we clean up the specific parks, get local high schoolers involved in the process. I think it's something that it's worth maybe taking the time to simply put together.
Yeah, I like that idea. One of the next work plan is doing copy in the park, maybe we can combine them, whatever, but yeah, we definitely.
Is there any liability to that? The kids
I
are
feel
there or
there's-
something?
There is a citywide creek cleanup coming up on Saturday, May 17th. At Christmas Hill Park. And that's part of a statewide initiative. It's called Save the Creeks. Anyway, so Gilroy does it, we do it at Christmas Hill Park every year. And then I believe someone actually in my department, but in a different division, he does these monthly cleanups. Trying to see if he's still doing.
Yeah, or if there's something already existing, just
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, so I could,
investing into that and
I
just,
could send that out as well. He has every month he
He kind of bounces around.
yeah, he does it like he'll do a downtown cleanup, he'll do it at a park or in a particular area that could use it. And he has the gloves, the grabbers, the garbage bags, and then most importantly, place to put the garbage. So,
Mhm.
because that's always where groups fall short. They leave it a pile and
I mean,
they call us.
touch base with Adam on that, and then let the commission know.
Yes, yes, so for those programs, when it's run through the city, you sign a temporary volunteer application. So, and if you're under 18, then the parents. And those forms will be available. The Creek cleanup 17th as well as at Andrews, monthly cleanups.
So how is that communicated out? Is it in the app?
It's typically in the city newsletter.
Yeah.
Forward things, but yeah, the one that we're doing, Recreation's hosting, it was in the activity guide. It's gonna be in our city our monthly newsletter this month, next week, and it'll be in the city newsletter as well. And then Andrew does. It's smaller, it's smaller, so maybe 15.
Nice.
Does that make sense for you?
Wow.
Perfect, okay.
does that,
Let's do the city newsletter. Social
it
media.
depends.
It was almost.
I mean, you open it up,
It was like
you
a
can get a lot of.
Yeah, that's like the city kind of.
All right, let's move on to final number 13, staff comments. There's upcoming civic master plan and district big election public hearing.
Yeah, so the workshop, of course, is on May 20th. So just as a result of that, the next meeting, I'll send out an email update, but it'll be Tuesday, May 27th, which is the day after Memorial.
That's the day that we're gonna potentially also meet.
That's when we're gonna be, yeah, yes. Thank you, Commissioner Snyder. And then also, of course, the district elections, everyone's probably aware about that. The next public hearings are April 21st and May 5th. And that is for the citywide district elections.
Last council meeting, council started push, I think, toward it, making a final decision perhaps on May 19th, this year. Schedule, they haven't officially done that. Conversation seemed to get some traction. This will.
For what was that?
Final decision.
When, do you know when the council goes finalizes on the budget?
It's released on May 5th, June. June as well. And it's released to the council.
So if we wanted to comment on the budget, we would want to speak before they do any finalizing in June, right? So we'd have.
I would come to the May meeting if if you want to speak.
That's May 19th meeting.
I believe it's May 5th.
May 5th.
These. 19th is still okay.
I think that's important for us to know as a commission. Again, we talked about this in the previous meetings. We don't have our own funding source. But every year at the end of the budget cycle, there is money left over, generally speaking. And I think there's a possibility that if we were to ask that if there was money left over, that we would get X% of it on an annual basis, that would give us something that we could use on a move forward basis. So I do know that a couple of city council people could probably support that. That's just one or two. But every year at the end of the budget cycle, there's money left over and then they can. So if we were to ask for X% that we can hang on to, that would go to our parks and rec program, that's possible. So I will probably plan on speaking at the May 5th.
Just to clarify, when we speak as a public, we speak in public forum, we don't speak as a commissioner to the city council, right? So it's more of a suggestive and more of an idea that X amount of money, if there is, to kind of be allocated to Parks and Recs commission or programs or.
Yeah, so historically, what commissioners have done is they make, announcement, they said, hi, my name is so-and-so, I am a member of the Parks and Recreation Commission, and I want to address this particular issue. You would never say on behalf of the commission, if it's something that has not been brought up.
I'll say the easiest thing is I sit as commissioner. Tonight, I'm speaking as an individual to represent the community on behalf of community parks.
So then hypothetically speaking, if we're all there and we start this off, we could take that and just piggyback off of him to kind of act as
Yes,
residents of Gilbert.
yes.
Don't sit together, please.
No.
And don't maybe in advance what each of you are going to say.
Yeah.
It just gets a little.
Now, it's probably pretty non-arguable if you each individually speak regarding your proposed work program, which you've taken an action on, and you support the actions that are contained in that, then you necessarily have to say, I'm speaking as an individual. Because, that speaking as a commissioner and support to you by commission.
Yeah.
That
That
would
makes
be
sense.
okay. So you have two kind of issues and two ways of approaching that evening. Different evenings as it may be, but so that one, take that. But that's still always best, actually, and that I think is to ask your chair to speak on behalf of the commission and represent the commission on an action regarding taking official. So that's the easiest.
The more the better. All right, so if there are no further staff comments, I'd like to call for adjournment of the meeting at 7:53 PM.
That's it.
You know,
Okay,